Why would a developing nation turn down financial assistance from the International Monetary Fund, IMF, an institution known for helping countries in economic distress? President Ebrima Traoré of Burkina Faso made headlines with his bold decision to reject IMF funds, sparking considerable debate and curiosity. This decision challenges the traditional reliance on international financial institutions and reflects a broader strategy aimed at reclaiming economic sovereignty, promoting sustainable development, and addressing the unique challenges faced by Burkina Faso. Here's an in-depth look at why President Traoré chose to reject IMF funds and what it means for Burkina Faso's future. The IMF has long played a crucial role in providing financial assistance to countries facing economic crises. Its programs often come with stringent conditions aimed at stabilizing economies, such as austerity measures, structural adjustments, and policy reforms. While these measures are intended to foster economic stability and growth, they have frequently been criticized for their adverse social impacts and for undermining national sovereignty. Burkina Faso, like many other African nations, has a history of engaging with the IMF. The country has received numerous loans and financial aid packages, often tied to conditions that required significant changes in fiscal policies, public sector management, and economic liberalization. However, the effectiveness of these programs has been a subject of debate, with critics arguing that they have sometimes led to increased poverty, reduced public services, and economic dependency. President Ebrima Traoré's rejection of IMF funds is rooted in a vision of economic independence and sustainable development. Traoré, who came to power with a promise to prioritize national sovereignty and grassroots development, has emphasized the need for Burkina Faso to chart its own economic course without external interference. One of the primary reasons for rejecting IMF funds is to regain economic sovereignty. Traoré believes that reliance on IMF loans and their accompanying conditions restricts the country's ability to make independent economic decisions. By rejecting these funds, Burkina Faso aims to free itself from external dictates and pursue policies that align with its national interests and developmental goals. Traoré's administration views economic sovereignty as essential for true independence. The strings attached to IMF loans often require countries to implement austerity measures that can lead to job cuts, reduced public spending on healthcare and education, and other social hardships. Traoré aims to avoid these negative outcomes and focus on policies that directly benefit the Burkinabe people. President Traoré's administration is focused on sustainable development that benefits the broader population rather than serving the interests of foreign creditors. This includes investing in agriculture, infrastructure, education, and healthcare. By rejecting IMF funds, Traoré intends to avoid the austerity measures that often accompany these loans, which can lead to cuts in essential public services and social programs. For instance, Burkina Faso's agricultural sector, which employs a significant portion of the population, is a critical area for investment. Traoré's government plans to enhance agricultural productivity through modern techniques and infrastructure improvements, ensuring food security and creating jobs. Similarly, investments in education and healthcare are aimed at building human capital, which is essential for long-term economic growth. Burkina Faso has been working towards reducing its external debt dependency. President Traoré argues that continued borrowing from the IMF and other international lenders exacerbates the debt burden, leading to a cycle of borrowing and repayment that stifles economic growth. By rejecting IMF loans, Burkina Faso aims to break this cycle and focus on building a more self-reliant economy. Traoré's strategy includes diversifying the economy to reduce reliance on a few sectors and developing local industries that can compete globally. This approach not only aims to reduce the debt burden, but also to create a more resilient economy capable of withstanding external shocks. Traoré's economic strategy includes empowering local economies and promoting self-sufficiency. This involves supporting small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, improving agricultural productivity, and fostering local industries. The rejection of IMF funds is part of a broader effort to redirect resources towards initiatives that build domestic economic capacity and resilience. For example, the government has launched initiatives to provide microloans and technical assistance to small businesses. These efforts aim to stimulate entrepreneurship and innovation, which are vital for economic diversification and job creation. Additionally, improving infrastructure such as roads, electricity, and water supply is seen as crucial for enabling local businesses to thrive. The decision to reject IMF funds has broader implications for Burkina Faso and potentially for other African nations facing similar challenges. By focusing on internal resources and sustainable development, Burkina Faso aims to build a more resilient economy. This approach can lead to long-term stability and reduce vulnerability to external economic shocks. For instance, investments in renewable energy projects can reduce the country's dependence on imported fuels, lowering costs and enhancing energy security. Additionally, by fostering a diversified economy, Burkina Faso can mitigate the risks associated with global market fluctuations. This resilience is crucial for ensuring that economic growth translates into tangible benefits for the population. President Traoré's stance could inspire other African leaders to reconsider their reliance on external financial assistance. If successful, Burkina Faso's approach could serve as a model for other countries seeking to assert their economic independence and pursue alternative development strategies. Traoré's leadership may encourage a broader movement towards self-reliance and regional cooperation in Africa. For instance, Burkina Faso has already begun to strengthen its ties with neighboring countries through regional trade agreements and collaborative development projects. This regional approach aims to create a united front that can negotiate better terms with global powers and foster collective economic growth. The rejection of IMF funds may alter Burkina Faso's international relations, particularly with Western nations and financial institutions that have historically influenced its economic policies. Traoré's administration may seek to strengthen ties with non-traditional partners, including other African nations, emerging economies, and international organizations that support alternative development models. By diversifying its international partnerships, Burkina Faso aims to reduce its economic dependency on any single country or institution. This strategy includes exploring new trade agreements, attracting foreign direct investment from diverse sources, and participating in international forums that promote equitable economic policies. Traoré's focus on sustainable development and social programs aims to improve the quality of life for Burkina Faso's citizens. By investing in healthcare, education, and infrastructure, the government seeks to address immediate needs and lay the foundation for long-term social and economic progress. For example, increased funding for public healthcare can improve access to medical services, reduce disease burden, and enhance overall public health. Similarly, investing in education, particularly in rural areas, can increase literacy rates, improve job prospects, and reduce poverty. While President Traoré's decision to reject IMF funds is bold, it is not without challenges and criticisms. Rejecting IMF funds means that Burkina Faso will need to find alternative sources of financing to address immediate economic needs. This could lead to short-term economic strain and requires effective management of existing resources. The government must carefully balance its budget and prioritize spending to ensure that critical services are maintained. In the absence of IMF support, Burkina Faso may need to explore alternative financing options, such as issuing sovereign bonds, seeking bilateral aid from friendly nations, or tapping into regional financial institutions. These alternatives come with their own sets of challenges and require careful negotiation and strategic planning. Traoré's vision relies heavily on effective governance and efficient use of resources. Ensuring transparency, combating corruption, and implementing sound economic policies are critical to the success of this strategy. The government must strengthen institutions, enforce anti-corruption laws, and promote accountability at all levels. For example, the government has introduced measures to improve public financial management, such as digitalizing tax collection and enhancing the capacity of the judiciary to handle corruption cases. These reforms are essential for building public trust and ensuring that resources are used effectively. Burkina Faso may face external pressure from international financial institutions and creditor nations. Navigating these pressures while maintaining a focus on national priorities will be a significant challenge for Traoré's administration. The government must be prepared to defend its policies and negotiate favorable terms in international forums. Furthermore, Burkina Faso's rejection of IMF funds could lead to strained relations with donor countries that support IMF programs. The government must work to maintain diplomatic relations while asserting its economic independence. President Ebrima Traoré's decision to reject IMF funds is a bold move aimed at reclaiming Burkina Faso's economic sovereignty and promoting sustainable development. By focusing on internal resources, reducing debt dependency, and empowering local economies, Traoré seeks to build a more resilient and self-sufficient nation. While this approach presents challenges, it also offers an opportunity for Burkina Faso to set a new course for its economic future, one that prioritizes the well-being of its citizens and asserts its independence on the global stage. As Burkina Faso pursues this ambitious path, the international community will be watching closely. If successful, Traoré's strategy could inspire other nations to explore alternative development models and reconsider their relationships with international financial institutions. Ultimately, Burkina Faso's experience could contribute to a broader rethinking of economic policies and development strategies across the African continent, promoting a future where African nations have greater control over their destinies and development trajectories. What are your thoughts on Burkina Faso's decision to reject IMF funds? Do you think this move will inspire other nations to follow suit? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this article insightful, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth analysis and updates on global economic trends. Thank you for watching.